Hi guys, welcome to Gone Hiking. Today I'm out with this reprobate over here and we're going to do a wild camp. Yeah, made it to this little clearing. Beautiful little setting. Still a few hours till sunset. Finally able to get a wild camping, so I'm going to film setting up in a minute. All the gear, give you a little walk around what was some of the stuff we brought maybe, and look forward to getting back out in the woods for a bit. Sun is getting pretty low behind us now, so I think it's time to get camp set up. Right guys, I'm in the Naturehike Taga one. Here it is. So first of all, I'm just going to pitch the corners and then I'm going to put the pole through. MSR needles and some ground dogs. So here the loops aren't elastic, they're quite solid, they're just material. Just a rough pitch to start. One main pole for is the arch, second pole cross beam across the head, give you a bit more headroom. Let's have a little look at it. I've got a ground sheet on here as underneath, as you can see, and there's just some points where there's just some points here. The clasp goes in a loop and then put tension on it. Top pole in now. Clips onto the bar at the top. Pole goes across the top. One loop, one end. Second loop the other side. Then we just tension the back and the doors. the job. And that's it. There are guy out points here. So put 4 guy ropes in. Not expecting bad weather tonight. There's a bit of a vent there. And then there's some tie-up points for the doors. There's a zip. I'll tie the door up and then show you that in a minute. That's what it looks like with both the doors rolled back. There is a D door with a dual zipper. Little rainbow zip at the back, so you can use that as storage. You can also use that as a little pee hole in the night. Just enough room for one man. I'll get the airbed up here in a minute. Up at this end, there's a bit of a pocket. There's meant to be mesh ventilation here and at the other end, but there's nothing really coming off the ground, so you don't get much airflow from that pocket or the airflow at the mesh that end. But you do get a bit from this side. So here's the single wall nature of it, and then the double wall at the sides. There is a bit of a hook up there to use to put your light on. Alright guys, so in the tent at the moment, foot end, and let me just get the pillow sorted up the head end. So let's lie back, see how much headroom I've got. So, cheers fella, thank you. So yeah, here we go. There's a good few inches there. Hey, ooh, misses. And a good few inches at the foot end. If I move it more central. There we go, foot end. I've got a fair bit of distance. I've got 6 inches that end, I'm 5'9", 6 inches to the bottom of the tent. Good few inches from the hitting top of the tent up this end. I've got probably a bit less there, 4 inches. Reasonable headspace. I have used this tent before a few times. Being a single wall tent, condensation has been an issue, and it's pretty dry today. Couldn't really get any drier conditions in the UK, so we'll see how it goes tonight. I might even leave one of the doors open. Headroom wise, sit up in the middle. Okay, headroom wise, sitting up in the middle, 5'9", inch, 2 inches. So yeah, you wouldn't want to be much taller than me in this tent, to be fair. So it is only a single entry tent, porch or vestibule space. This is my Montan Trailblazer 44. Let's have a look. There's not really a ton of usable vestibule space there. You can just about get a smallish rucksack in there. The other side, that little rainbow arch does allow you to put some gear out the other side. Also, a few more thoughts on the Naturehike Taga 1. The workmanship, the craftsmanship on all the seams and the sewing is pretty good actually. Nicely taped seams. It's pretty good. I don't know if it's the rip-off of the tarp tent, rainbow tent. Looks a bit like it. Chinese copy. Comes in at about 1 kilogram, which isn't bad at all. You're right guys, horrendous night shot. Bedtime now. A few beers, a bit of food, just going to call it a night. So yeah, the tent holds up, pretty much perfect conditions, and I'll get back to you in the morning with my final thoughts. Morning guys. First light, so time to break camp. Toe box is a little wet, had it rubbing up there. Yeah, pretty much wet inside from condensation, so yeah, not great really. So doesn't actually feel that damp on the outside. There's more condensation on the inside than there is damp on the outside. Look at that. I don't know if you can make that out, yeah. It's dripping wet on the inside. Had a decent night's sleep. There's not lots of room for a person and gear. It did the job. It's okay on an overnighter, but I don't think with the condensation levels I would want to do a multi-night in it that often really. So dawn's breaking through the trees over there, and I'm gonna get this tent down now. There we go, leave no trace, just 2 flat patches of grass. Hi, you right guys, back home now after the camp out, and final thoughts on the Naturehike Taga 1. First of all, the dimensions. It is 210 centimetres long, 90 wide, 105 high, and the porch vestibule space at its best is 55 centimetres. I realised I never showed you the pegs. They look like mini groundhogs, the ones that actually come with it. I usually take my own pegs, but they do a reasonable job. They're pretty lightweight. The whole thing comes in at about 1 kilo, and the free mat you get with it, I think, is another 200 grams. So the whole thing comes in at 1.2 kilograms. Pack size is 44 centimeters by 10 centimeters. If you take the poles out and the pegs out, separate everything, this really sort of compresses down, pretty small. So like compressibility is one of the strong points of the tent really. It takes up very little space. So pros and cons. First of all, it's quite a small footprint, so you can put it in quite a small gap. The construction seems quite good, all the stitching, everything like that, good quality. It's easy to pitch, pretty simple. You get a free ground sheet, which you probably do need on rough ground. It's worth taking. It's fairly sturdy, it's quite wind resistant, especially with the guy ropes out. It does take 6 pegs without the guy ropes and 10 with all the guy ropes out. It's pretty lightweight, and I just looked up how much it was on AliExpress. It's pretty cheap too, coming in at £67.77 is what I could find it for today. So a lot of positives for the tent really. Negatives, quite small vestibules, quite small living area. I'm 5'9", struggle to get a decent amount of gear in the tent without it touching up the sides. And you wouldn't want to be any taller than that, or you'd be touching the toe box end or the head end. But the biggest problem with the tent is ventilation. The ventilation's really poor. I've tried it in lots of different conditions in the UK, windy, wet, dry. Doesn't seem to matter what. The inside of the tent just gets full of condensation, to the point that it's almost dripping. And if it does rain, the rainfall hitting the tent flicks the condensation off and you get wet inside. So for me, that's a deal breaker. Like I said, I think on the actual video, you can put up with it for one night, a quick getaway where you want a really small, lightweight pack. it's fine for one night, but not for multi-day trips. Also, if you just want something cheap that you're not too worried about, you can be a bit rough with it. It fits a niche there. So on the whole, it's okay at best, really. I won't be taking it on any long distance adventures. Once again, thanks for watching Gone Hiking. See you next time. Take care.